Hi everyone, hopefully you can see there nice and clear, but today I am following on welding these backing panels. Making sure they're straight here, adjusting them with the shifter. Making sure that the bars are tight to the band. Or the piece of mesh. So what I'm doing here is leaving a nice rounded edge on each of the bars, sort of pushing the stainless down onto the band, and when that's complete I can flatten the sides. So I'm going to take it through the stages of different sandpaper, different grit. I'm going to start off with 40 grit, 80 grit, 120 grit, 240, 320, and then I'm going to bring it up to more finish. So hopefully this doesn't curl on me. It shouldn't, because I have the welder set down at 40 amps. So I'll keep her lit here, go down this side. Now in fact I'm going to work on the curves first, and there's a reason for that. It might be a wee bit hard to explain, but I'll keep her lit here first. Okay, so I'll just explain that as I turn the other camera off. So if I keep welding down this side now, what may happen is this flat bar may curl. It may curl in this way. I don't want it to curl in that way. So if you can imagine now, if I weld it at this point, this band's moving in this direction to the centre of this large circle. So as the weld cools, it contracts and it pulls in like this. So this band's actually moving in tighter here. And if I weld here, it will be the same. But I would rather have the bar. So if you can imagine this band now has been pushed in at these points, it will be pushed out here before welding. So that's the idea. It's a wee bit hard to explain, hopefully you follow. So if I start welding down here now, with no stress pushing out the way, this may form a wee slight curve. So each one of these bars is going to be welded. Reason being is because if you look here, there's quite a lot of bars that doesn't have the support running on over. So the idea here is to keep working. Well, I'll do this side, then I'll work my way down. I'll do the curves first, the large radius and the small radius, and then hopefully this part goes well. If there is a wee slight curve in it, there shouldn't be. If you look down it, it should be perfectly straight because it was done in the jig. And also using these pieces of box iron. So I'll keep our lip here. So I'm going to continue at this point. Oh yeah, one last thing. So the reason I've decided to weld all the bars is because these ones is loose and there's no support. So they're quite easily moved. Same here. So it would look kind of out of place if I welded some of them, like all these ones, and then started missing one and welding another. Like at this point, because they're quite rigid because they've got the support. So that's the idea. I just decided to weld every one of them. And it should look really well at the end, because when I'm welding this, I'm making sure to leave no sharp edge. So the bars, I'm sort of, with the TIG torch, I'm letting it flow downhill, pushing it downhill onto the flat here to leave a nice curve. So I won't need to sand the welds, I just need to sand the band in the end up. I've already done this. I've sanded the band beforehand, just to sort of assist with that stage. So moving on, keep our lip here. Now I have to take the time, well, not take the time, I just have to be careful not to go ahead and jump ahead of myself and weld and not straighten these bars as I go. Now, if they're a wee titty bit out, there's no point in using the verniers here because there's a different gap between each of these bars, believe it or not. It's not perfect. So by eye is usually the best way here. So there's one there that's welded, it looks a wee bit out of place. That was done when the band was welded to the best. A gentle wee tap does it, even though it's welded. I'm going to go over that one anyway because it's welded at the back side, 2 places. So I'll keep our lid here, just looking at these first. The best thing to do here is to look at it face on like this. You're never going to get them perfect right enough, but if you look at it there, they look nice and parallel to each other. Hi, hold on 2 seconds to look at this before I start the camera. This is for stainless. I will have fun, goodbye. But it's for stainless steel guard, everyone. So I can't exactly look at the comments when I'm around the front of the phone here, welding. I'll look at them in a moment. So again, just tweaking this bar. Looks alright there. Next step is pushing it down tight. I could use a clamp, but if I use a clamp it'll be in the way of making sure it's parallel. So I just have to use my index finger here to push down on it. Well, it's a bit dodgy because there's a bit of tension in that one, so I'll just put a clamp on it. Now I can't see if it's straight, but I have to take a chance. If it needs tweeted, I can hit it with this piece of box iron, piece of aluminium. This one also needs to be pushed down. So the longer ones are usually sitting up. It should up really well when it's done. I'm just going to put the clamp on this one even though it's welded at the back, just to keep it from lifting. Well, it's welded at this side. I just went over it because I have sanded all the bars. This is the one welded at the back. And just put the clamp on it just in case it moves. These three's welded, but as I say, I'm going to go over them just because I've sanded the face. Just to give it a nice round edge. How'd you flatten the machine? Oh dear. That is not very nice. So pushing down on the bars, the mesh. These short ones look okay, they don't look out of place because if you can imagine, they're shorter. The longer this is, the more out of place it may look, if it is out of place. Not to be confused. So what I do here, going on that in a wee bit of detail, is I create a pool and I bring the torch up and then I push it down to let the weld go down quick, give it a nice round edge. There's a one there, it's a wee bit high, so I need to put the clamp on. Tricky this one. The clamp's too small. Okay, so I'm going to put a wee tack on this first really. If I put this across it. Like that. So we're just pushing it down the weld. Okay. Believe it or not, these do move. Got a wee gentle tap. Slightest wee bit. Looking good. So we're now at this point. I shouldn't be working here actually, I should have stopped. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this straight end and we're going to start working on the other parts of the curve. So hopefully it's not buckling. It's not. Looks good. So we're going to continue on this point and go this way. Okay, so I'll have to move the camera here, I think. Maybe alright. So, from here to here it's fully welded. So these bars that have a wee angle on it are a wee bit more trickier to weld. Well, they have a large taper on it actually. Well over 45 degrees. But what I do is sort of just work it in somehow. It'd be better if it was in a V shape. So if you can imagine when I start welding this bar, I start at the thin part where the taper is, the start of the taper. The bar starts to get smaller and go this way. I don't want to interfere with the band at this point. I want to sort of welding in the middle of the bar. It's kind of hard to explain. So line this bar up because it's quite long and really make sure it's okay. It looks alright. Pushing down on it, it's tight. Just a wee bit more heat, a wee bit more longer time in that one. So from here now to here is complete. So now moving on to this one. Can't weld these because they're 3mm higher. Because they're resting on the other bars running perpendicular. So let's start focusing on this side now. Again, I'm going to weld over the top of other welds. Start this other camera. What is that? What does that mean? Okay, so welding over the top of this one. Reason being is because I sanded all the bars and I want all the welds having a nice rounded edge, a nice flow, rather than it looking sharp to the band like this. I want it looking like this, like a ball. Just like that. Just like that. E-ball. So now I'm working on here, continuing my way around. So making sure that the bars are straight. How long do we finish this one? Well, wall, but not too long. So that looks alright. Try to keep it on view here at the same time, just getting a good position for welding it. So, starting with the ones already welded. Again, the reason I'm welding it is because it looks kind of sharp. It looks sharp because it was sanded, it was welded to hold the band. I'm just going to start a wee bit up on top of the edge and just run it down into the band, leaving a nice round edge. Just like that. So the ball will look a wee bit bigger in this one because of the taper part. It can be sanded, that one. So it's like having more welding wire there. More filler rod. So on to these ones now. Working my way around to this point, and we're going to stop, and then we're going to do the small curve. Then we're going to finish off the two straight parts. Making sure the bars are straight. The small bars here, just from this point out, look okay because they're short. They haven't moved. When I was polishing this into a mirror finish, these longer ones tend to budge. Oh, we're not getting nowhere. Hopefully it's that. Hopefully it's not the welder. Right. The points might need checked. Oh. Going to weld over the top of the weld again to leave a nice rounded edge. Around the bar, shall I say? Just making sure it's straight. Looks a wee bit out. I'll just give it a wee tap first. Okay. So when I weld this, it might lift. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a clamp on it. Just create a wee bit of pressure to start a assist here. So this bar now is important to line it up because it has no support, so it could go out. So by eye, wrong way down it. Making sure it's tight to the band, which it is, and it looks straight enough. I'm going to just run my across this way. Just a wee twist maybe at this point. Get it alright. So if you can see there, I'm sort of flicking the torch down. Oh, I think that's the welder, yeah. I'll need to look at it. So I'm going to move this camera into a better position. Just give me a second here to lower this down. Light's not great in here. Might go and get a wee lamp and set her up too in a minute. It's not much, but it might help. So now working my way from this point to the end of the curve. Then I'm going to move on to the small curve, and then we're going to do the straight edges to finish this off. Then there's another one needs welded over under. So I'm just going to set these cameras up nice and to do this part. That's as best as I can do there. I'll move this one a little bit maybe. Move this back over, touch. No, I can't. What just have to do there, right? Just have to do. So again, for anybody new on, just making sure the bars are straight before I start welding this to the band. So at this point, there's a wee bend in it. Can't do much about it, to be honest, because it's sort of like a V there at that point. I can weld it and tap it in the future, but for now, make sure they're even at this point. One shot at this. I don't want to be cutting them again. Keep it in mind, I do have to create a slot here on the two backing panels yet. So I'm just double checking this here before I move on. Start welding this. I don't want to get them wrong or weld them out of position. Looks good. Looks good until you weld it. Okay, so for anybody new, please subscribe to my channel to see more interesting projects in the future. They are coming slowly, but they will come as soon as I get this guard done. These guards. Alright, so I could spend all day tweaking them, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm making sure the mesh is tight to the band, the 3mm band that I have created. And it's not at this point here. So I'm going to push down at this point just. It's still not tight. Need a wee mark in it. Okay, so these ones is all okay. Number 4, 5, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Making sure they're straight before welding them. They're okay. The welder seems to be playing up where the bad earth there, but so I'm trying to focus the weld only where the bar is and not to the right side or left side, because I don't want to distort the sharp edge here on the flat bar, because it will look awful when sanded. Get a clamp on this one. Now they're right. Make sure they're straight. As straight as we're going to get them. So the reason I have sanded all the bars is because I want a nice round sort of beveled edge on the weld, rather than having a sharp edge out close to the face of the band here. I'm just going to check outside because I hear the noise. Alright, ready to rock again. So making sure these bars are straight, parallel to each other. These three are okay, but they need to push down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this middle one that's sitting high. And with the clamp on it then, I can't see if it's parallel, but it should be alright. Oh. Alright. Now. I just like having the tungsten nice and sharp here. Okay, just stopping the other camera here. Starting in 2 seconds again. Get these gloves off. So I have another one of these to do yet. Just making sure it's parallel. It's hard to see the clamp there. It's alright, you know. So pushing the end of the bar down to act as further rod. So now on to this point. Oh, there must be dust. We better put the air flowing through the workpiece, but it makes it awkward to end the weld. I should have clean sanded this piece of aluminium first. So up, down, up, down, up, down. One there's bent. Bent alright. It's there's actually a bigger gap here at one side. After the bar. Gap here now. We hit that one again. I just go like a wee dip in that one. A wee dip in that one too. So the welder's set at 40 amps to try and avoid that. So this bar's not coming down unless I put the screwdriver in this way. Maybe out of the way of the camera here a minute. I'll bring it into position in 2 seconds when I weld this one. We're pushing on the screwdriver to close the gap here. Oh, I think that's the welder, you know. I think it's the welder. Hold on a minute. Maybe not. Maybe not. There's some amount of pressure on that one to hold her down there. I'll bring it into position in 2 seconds when I weld these 2 next bars. Up the stop soon, move on to the other side. Oh dear. Oh, they scratched it. So now on to the small curve, and then we're going to finish off these 2 small parts. Then I have another band to do. So looks like we have to keep the air clamp on the workpiece, not the bench. The bench is dodgy. Okay, so I'll try and bring these cameras over. Not much room in here. 2 seconds to move this heater. That's better now. Better? I'm on the way, all camera right. I'm gonna raise this. Try and get the view good here. So, continue on. Right. I'd rather have that on the bench, you know. It's just very corroded. The piece of aluminium. We gotta dust it off, not earth. Okay. So now focusing on this smaller radius. So it's important here, starting at this point, because we've got the long bars. And if we've got the long bars, it means they probably have moved out of position since I cut the mesh itself. So I just need to make sure they're straight before I weld them. So I'm going to start at this point and work my way around. So as I say, the reason I'm not continuing the welds on down this part is because I don't want the flat part to curve. So I'm sticking to the part of the band that's more rigid, if that makes sense, this curve, and the smaller one. So when I get to this point, there might be a bit of stress pushing out of the band, like a banana, this way. And hopefully that assists me when I'm welding the straight part, and when I weld it then, it comes back in straight. So that's the idea. When I weld these bars now, it'll tend to pull in here at this point. As the weld cools, it contracts. And the same goes for the this large part, which is fully welded now. So yeah, let's see what time's running here in this. Alright, we're not doing bad. So I'm going to continue on here now. They look alright, but the problem is when you weld them is when they look out of place. I'll start off with the smaller ones. And hopefully it works out. What am I doing? Let me still on there. So the welder said at 40 amps, 41 amps. So I'm not just tacking it, I'm sort of, well, technically I am. I'm holding heat on it to get the stainless to flow into a nice ball. To sort of move it away from the band. The band being this part, the left forward. Holding the gas on to keep the welds nice and clean. Not that it matters because it's going to be polished, but the cleaner the better beforehand. That one's bent there, isn't it? Doesn't matter straight. Doesn't matter straight. It's alright there. I'll just put this air foil or this clamp back to help. Okay, so I'm going to just go over the top of these welds. Oh, I think that's the welder. The welder needs welding now. I'm going to put it on here. Aye. There is a welder, I think. It's getting worse. Or this lance is broke. The last thing we need to happen in the live stream. So the reason I've gone over these welds is because I have sanded the bars to the band, and those welds were used to hold the band to the mesh beforehand. And the reason I'm going over them is because I want a nice curve, or a well flowing the ball rather than a sharp edge. Look at the welders. Try and make it through this video. Okay, so I think we have a problem. I think the welder's packing up on us. Or the lamp is broke. The torch, at least. Screws. I'll keep her lip. As best as we can do there. Need a wee bit of filler wire for this one. We have to get that fixed. Sometime later on, maybe. Okay, so that's half of that. One done. Moving on to this side now. Hi everyone. Okay, so following on. So, what I'm doing today, for anybody new that's on, is welding this mesh completely to the band that I have formed. So these are special guards that I'm building for the compressor that I built on my channel. The largest single phase compressor in the world. So there's one there, it needs welded yet. It's actually sitting a bit proud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it first. The one that's welded here. And I'm going to heat it to make it sink back down into its position. So that was done when the band was welded to the mesh. So when I weld this, it should fall down into place position. There might be a bit of burning on it because I'm so close to the clamp, but not matter. Put enough heat in it to get it to do that, but not too much so the thing distorts. Going to give it another wee heat there. Are you really going to see it? No. Okay, so we're now working on the small part of this radius, then we're going to really finish. So it might start to curve, but it's actually not. But I haven't welded the straight part yet. If it does curve, not really matter, but I can straighten it. That's why I'm trying to not put too much heat into it. So this one needs done yet. I'm trying to get this in view. It's not easy because I'm working at this side. Let's see if I lift these away up on the sky. Okay. Getting there slowly. Not better. I wonder if this other camera's gonna be blocked now. No. You're right. So I'm getting back at it here in 2 seconds. I'm just checking the other one. Alright. Okay, so hopefully this welder holds up. It's been alright for the last 7 tacks, but you never know. Things usually go wrong in live streams. So starting here, working my way to this part of the curve, I can actually just follow on down then. At this point here, I need a bit of filler at these 2 points because, well, I've cut the bars to bring this band out because it's curved into me. So, I'll focus on keep our lip here. Going over the top of the old welds because when I flattened the bar and the actual band, the bar is sitting flush, and I don't want it flush because when I polished this band into a mirror and the mesh of the welds, I want a nice round bevel on them, on the end of the bars. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. So the torch angled down onto the bar, onto the round bar, sort of a 45-degree angle. And then what I do then is just work it down into the band. Work the bars. That here, please. Give it a point to the welder, need to adjust it. And I think that's what it is. There's a bad cable on this big torch. It's interfered with my work. So keeping the torch on it, need the welds nice and clean. Hard to get them ones done nice and neat, but they are neat, but they're not. They're alright. Okay. Just checking there's no dip there. Just getting rid of any wee craters. We don't want the craters because when I sand the band, you will see them. If there is any craters, which there's not, then I can fix it later on when I'm not running the live stream. But they're looking okay. So now we need the clamp to bring the mesh tight. I'm going to check your straight first. Okay, I'm just going to check they're straight to the band, which they're not. So we're nearly done. The live stream number 17. So it's the first time I've ever run that many live streams on a project. Okay, so look, all these are straight now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 maybe. I'll weld 3 and then I'll come back to it. Okay. Just checking this other yoke. So we need a clamp. Okay, so I'm just putting a wee tack on that for the meantime to make sure it's straight. It is. Okay. It's okay, so you're never gonna see it. Checking for wee craters. Sorry. It'd be great if I had somewhere to set this torch. There, it's not all there, is it? So, checking the bars are straight. Important now that they're getting longer. Longer if yours this bar. So this is my reference point, really. The longer the bars get, the more they look out of place without the support that the bars have at this point. So they look alright, you know. I'm gonna just blast them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go for it. This one needs clamp. Clamp on it. Try not to move it. Left or right. It looks out of place. It's alright. I just have to tap it if it's not lined up. So I have fade down on this soak down on the welder setup so it removes any wee pinholes. So them two's okay. Ready to be welded. So I'm trying to focus the weld only at the point where the bar is and not to this edge because I don't want to damage it. Don't want to lose its sharp edge, if that makes sense. It would look very rough, you know, when you go to polish it or sand it first initially, and then when I'm polishing it in mirror you'll see the imperfections and I don't want that. So now I just have to weld 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at the two sides to finish this. So it's going well here. So this one's bent. This one's it's not bad now. Okay. This one needs a bit of filler rod because I've made a mess. I've cut it. But it was required because the band needed set to the mesh beforehand. So I'm going to go ahead here with 1, 2, 3. Just put a wee bit of pressure on this one. It's going sideways. It's going sideways. So I'll push down first. I'll just tack it for the meantime. Just to double check it before I weld that fully, that's grand. I could maybe do with a good chop. Put one that I weld there, this one. No, it's alright. Leave it alone. But it's important that I put the clamp back on it because when I weld it, it will rise. Okay, so two in the middle needs welded, hardly straight, a wee bit out, a wee bit out. You see the problem is, these wee bars aren't perfectly straight sometimes. If I weld here now, I can tap this bar in the middle. That's bent. You got a filler rod here now. It's important. Oh, here. Perfect. So I cut that one. There was a bit like a mil gap. I have a cut using the Dremel because it was out of position. So I'm flying now. And you can't exactly flick it down, but there's a gap there. So how do you do a bit of rod? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they look straight. They look straight, so I'll keep her look. Well, as I say, they look straight until you weld them. It's alright. Okay. Oh, this one's sitting up. This one's sitting proud. So what I'll do is the same thing again, is I'll tack it. We tap the smalls of tacks, and then I can shift it if need be. So it needs shifted. The clamp, I put the clamp on it, moved. So this one needs to go wee touch that way. Back away again, too much there. The heat's getting to me now. Right, so this one needs to come this way now. alright. What I'll do here is I'll clamp it again, weld it. So I can't move now I put the clamp on it. But it could the first time. This one needs a bit of filler rod because I have cut it. Grand job. So these ones can be welded on up. Don't be line them up just don't point using the verniers because different gaps on it there. Nice rounded edges on these. This one here might lift, so I'm just going to clamp it. It's already been welded to the band. I'll just risk it. Oh voila. Great. Right, this one needs a bit of filling rod. The one that's been cut. I'll just pick it up and show you what I'm talking about. So, I'll bring the torch up. I have cut this one because it wasn't lined up. I was more fixated on getting the band lined up on the jig and not the bars. So, a bit of work. As I say, this being the band, made out of 2 pieces of stainless. Okay, so the weld's completely removed here. And also here at this point. The reason being is because I'm going to be polishing it into tomorrow when we're finished. Because you will see it through the front panels sitting over here. Let me see if I can move this. The front panels here that go on to the backing panels. So we're an hour and 16 minutes, I'll keep her lit. So where is this one now? This is the opposite side. You know what? I keep striking it here. No, it's not. Is it? Oh, there it is there. Right. So we don't want no dips below the weld on the flat bar or on the band. Gone. Please don't bring this welding. The welder or the torch. I need to clamp. I need to clamp. So the reason it's just a habit when I'm manoeuvring the torch here is to sort of flick the gas around the weld. Is that welded? That is. Okay. Looks really real. I didn't think it was going to turn out so good. That's looking honest. So, I have about 13 bars, 13 spots here to do. So I'm going to start off, work my way this way this time. So the smaller bars tend to be straighter, because when I say smaller bars, the smaller ends, because if you can imagine, when I was polishing this in the mirror, the bigger bars had no support out here, so they're much more leverage. And at this point, it's less likely for these bars to move out of position. But at this point, there's more chance, and that's why most of them's bent, because of the polishing stages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the welder could also have dust between the points, the high frequency part of the welder, so I'll need to check that. So that's 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to finish this piece. And then it could be sanded and polished. I'm so excited, because this will look really well. Okay, let's start off with smaller ones for the reason I discussed. So 1, 2, 3, 4 look straight. This one might need a wee adjust, you know. When you adjust this one, you need to adjust the other one because it throws it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a gap, so these need to be brought tighter to the band using these wee 2-ounce clamps. I'm just going to tack it again because it may need cut over. When I say tack it, I'm really talking a small tack. So that's okay now. I can weld these two. I can go ahead here. All good, no welder. Oh, come on. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. Well, on this one I need to put the clamp on it because it was sitting proud. When I put the heat on it again, it will release the tack, so I need to put the clamp back on it just. So pull on the end of the bar down into the piece of flat bar. I'm just checking there's no there looks to be a wee crater. So what I'm doing is trying to just feather it off. There's a crater in this one too. So what I can do in this instance is just give it a wee bit of feather rod. It can always be sanded at the end. It might even be a crater, it might be a reflection. Nah, it was a crater. So when I say a crater, it's sort of drawing the stainless out of the band and leaving a wee crater around the pull of weld, and I don't want that because it's too much sanding then. So I'm going to just check these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one can be welded. It is welded, but it might lift when I weld it. It seemed to be. I'm just checking. I'm going to clean the electrode here because I seem to be getting a wee lot of craters. So give me 2 seconds and I will be back. I'm going to sharpen this tungsten. If anybody has any questions, hello everybody. If anybody has any questions, you can ask away. I just got outside. I don't like grinding the tungsten in the garage. I need my glasses. But back, a minute, 1 minute. It's meant to release some sort of bad, I don't know what it is, vapour, mercury or something. I'm not sure. What will they say anyway? When you put heat into it, you grind it or something. So, there's 6 left to do. 6 bars, not 6 work pieces. We have 1 work piece left. So, I'm going to go ahead here. Hopefully this helps. I'm just going to check. It's just a reflection, I think. Yeah. I think it's just a reflection. I'll take it outside in a moment. So, clamping this one, making sure it doesn't lift up when I weld it. So the reason I'm going over on top of another weld, as I say, is because those welds were used to keep the shape of the band to the mesh. And they now sit with a straight edge, so like this. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a bevel like the end of the screwdriver with the weld instead. So I have sanded the band after I tacked the band to the mesh. So yeah. So if anybody's interested in projects like this, you can look at my channel. There's more interesting projects. This is a very basic one. So this bar now needs shifted towards me. So we're nearly done. It still needs shifted towards me. It's alright there. This one's well out of position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it. It needs clamped, but it needs lined up too. So what I'll do is I'll put a wee small tack on it first, and I can batter it into position. Starting this on camera. Okay, So it's this one's out. This one's okay, I think, the one I welded. This one's okay to be welded. So I sort of flick it twice. This one can be welded, but it needs to clamp, because as you can tell, I clamped it beforehand. If I weld it, it will lift and make a mess. Now that it's parallel to the other ones, I can weld it fully. Perfect. So guess what? I have one bar left to do. I have to make sure it's parallel to the other ones first. It's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Yay! Hold on. Okay. Good job. Okay, everyone. So, another live stream. So I'll take it outside. Another live stream completed. But I put my glove on. Now, you know what? I'll just risk it. It's not much better out here, is it? Okay, there you go. So we have a nice bevel on the end of the bars, rather than having a straight edge. So my next step now is flattening this band right around, going through the different stages with a dual action sander. I'm going to start off with an aggressive sandpaper such as 40 grit to do the welds, and then I'm going to finish off the band with 320 grit. Then I'll be polishing these on Saturday, so I might run another live stream. So if anybody's interested on this project and other projects, do subscribe to my channel. There'll be more interesting projects coming in the future. So I'm actually holding on to a very hot bit that I just welded there. So there's where the weld joint was. And it's doesn't exist no more. So this is the one that's just there. You can see it well there now. So if you look here now. So if I sand here, you can see the camera's focusing and whatnot. So here my index finger is, you can see the swirl marks. So I've prepped the band to the mesh and the mesh to the band beforehand. And my next step now, as I say, is flattening the welds, and then I'm going to run it through the polisher and I'm going to bring it up to a mirror finish. And then when that's complete, so you can see there the way the mesh is sort of lifted a wee bit in the middle. That can be worked. I can work that. So there's the guards. I'm just going to move this other camera. Just give me a second. I'll bring all these out. So this is the front. That part there that you're looking at now, the bit that this live stream is focused on, is completed. So that's complete. There will be a stage in the future when I slot them and add them to the compressor. So that's the backing panel number 1. There's backing panel number 2. This is the... Where did I get this lined up here? So that is the front panel that sits on the backing panel. And what I'll do here is I'll just lift it up. I need to wash my fingers here. I'm going to put this in the stand 2 seconds. Because it's I don't want it to fall. Yeah, it's about to fall. So I'll put the camera or the phone back in the stand. Just give me a second. And when I have the backing panel in position, what I will do is I'll take the phone off again. Or I might just leave it on. So here's the wee mirror polished parts that I placed onto the front guard. So they were done in part 12, I think they were part 13. No, they were done in part 12, they were made in part 12 live stream. So them parts are now there to be attached to the band. So when I get the band out and I place the band on, or sorry, the front guard onto the band like so, we have, there you go now. When I bring this band or this backing panel into the front face, what I will do is I'll run 3.5mm drill bit down through the holes, the tabs that I have formed. So it's looking really well. So you can see there, this hole on the band was there to form the actual bands themselves to attach them to the jig that I made for the guard. So it's a serious amount of work on this. But as you can tell, that backing panel is now complete and it's sitting nice and snug in the front panel, the front guard. And when I bring these welds down flush, the idea is to have the edge of the front guard in line with these ones. So you won't see no welds, all you'll see is this mirror polish finish in through this mirror finish through the front guard. So if anybody has any questions before I go, they can ask away. There's another guard down there, so there's two sets. I need to go ahead and weld this one now, the way I did on the video demonstration here, this live stream. So when this is complete, this will probably be maybe two videos on my channel, clips. It won't be in detail like this of the stages because it's just a massive video. It will be big anyway. So when that's complete, there will be an additional part when I mount the guards to the compressor, pump station 1 and pump station 2. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching and do come again. Don't forget to subscribe. I was meant to say something else, but I forget what it is now. So these two backing panels are identical. I'll just set this one against it. So this one's not welded, and this is the one I welded in now. So a lot of work, as you can tell. And the sweat's running off me. So I'm going to go here and get washed, and I'm going to go back out and do the other one after tea. So thank you for watching, everyone, and goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe.